quick update. I have just finished clearing underneath these trees, so I'm very pleased with that, including under this big pine tree. And so finally what I'm now going to do is go up on the roof, do the gutters on both sides, finish pruning the top section of the bay tree. I pruned as far as I could reach from on the ground, so sort of up to there. I've got that to do. And then lastly, I'll rake it all up, add it to the bonfire, which I will hopefully light very, very, very early on Saturday morning. One final update for today. I have, as you may be able to see, cleared the gutter, and I've done what I can to tidy up the bay topiary. I probably could have done a bit more on that side, but it's actually very difficult down the slope on the ladder, and the long-handled loppers aren't quite long-handled enough. Anyway, so I just have the other side of the roof gutter to do, this side that faces the water tank, but I'm going to do that after I've stopped for lunch. So I thought I'd head down and show you what I'm dealing with. I'm going to have the bonfire on Saturday, as I think I mentioned. That's a good day because it's not going to be overly windy, and it may well rain later in the day, and it's probably going to rain on Sunday, which is handy because these leaf bonfires tend to burn really, really quickly, but then they smoulder for ages, and you, as I've mentioned before as well, you can sort of rake it over and it'll all sort of look burnt, but underneath a layer of ash on the top there'll be intact leaves, so you have to sort of keep raking it over. I'm not entirely looking forward to it because, as you can probably see, it's a pretty big bonfire, and because of what it's composed of, it is going to go whoosh. But hopefully once the initial whoosh is over, it should be quite a modest bonfire actually. It'll expend its energy quickly, and then it'll just sort of smoulder on, as I say, until hopefully it rains and helps to put it out. And then once that's done, I rake up the soot and put it in the woods, because, as I had also mentioned, this bonfire is also partly full of stones, and I don't want those getting all tangled up in my lawnmower when I come to mow the lawns. So that's why I try to get the shrubbery sort of bonfires done before I come on to this. I've already spread the ash from those bonfires around the garden, and this will go in the woods, and that'll be that. So as you can see, so this is the entirety of the debris which had accumulated around the perimeter of my house and these sorts of areas here, and had accumulated under the trees here and around about the other side of the house, the gutter, and the last lot of leaves which I just raked up from the lawn. So quite a lot, and as I often say to Will, I'd much rather that I burnt this material in a controlled way than a bushfire did. So hopefully we'll be all set. It's lit. Fingers crossed this all goes swimmingly. Well, that was no effort whatsoever, and now it's burning away. quite nicely actually under its own steam. So I think this will be over pretty quickly, fingers crossed. There we are then. It's now what I call the ticking over phase. So the dramatic whooshing of the new material being consumed by the fire is past. And now what it's going to do for the next few hours is just gently smoulder away. So now that I feel that it's safe enough for me to walk away, I'm quickly just going to go and do a bit of trimming of the tea tree that's around the hammock area, whack that on top of the fire, and then I'll maybe give it a quick rake before I head back to the house and start my morning properly, i.e. have my cup of decaf coffee, wash my face, brush my teeth, all that fun stuff. I just wanted to get this lit bright and early whilst it was still cool and damp, out of fear of the potential for this bonfire to have gone haywire. Luckily it hasn't, so I will crack on with the rest of my morning and catch up with you at some point in the future. You possibly can't tell, but it's a lovely rainy Sunday afternoon, which means I can turn my attention to going through Will and I's evacuation packs. Just by way of context, as I film, the fire danger period here in Victoria, where I live, is set to start tomorrow. And so I am getting ready for that, hence the bonfires, but also Will and I keep evacuation packs in our cars during the fire danger period, which usually lasts until as late as May, but hopefully will end sooner than that. I won't go into too much detail. I have gone through our evacuation packs in previous years, but suffice it to say, essentially what the fire danger period means in practice is that it's the time of the year where we just have to be a little bit more aware of what's going on around us and prepared, potentially at very short notice, to evacuate our properties in order to get out of the way of an impending bushfire impacting. So we both have evacuation packs which live in our car, which are full of basics to see us through. Luckily we have several options, Will and I, of places that we can go to should we need to evacuate, so we don't need a lot of stuff. But what I'm going to do now is go through Will's, and then I'm going to go through mine, and then hopefully that aspect of this preparation will be done for another year. Isn't that excellent? Quite good. I don't see why we should have to pay for something that is out of their control.